anti-government protests in Israel have picked up pace. Thousands of protesters have taken to the streets calling for the removal of the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Protesters blame the Prime Minister for failing to secure the release of hostages in Gaza. Now, protesters marched outside the Knesset waving signs and shouting slogans calling on Netanyahu to step down. Organizers of these protests are planning to voice their opinion till Wednesday. This is when the Israeli parliament will begin its spring season. Meanwhile, on the battlefield, Israeli military claims it has withdrawn from Gaza's Al-Shifa hospital after a 14-day siege. The Palestinian officials say that the medical complex, which was Gaza's largest healthcare facility, is now completely destroyed. Gaza's health officials say Israeli strikes have killed 77 people in a span of 24 hours. Medical service crews are working to recover hundreds of bodies scattered around the Al-Shifa medical complex. Displaced Gazans who sought refuge at the complex were forced to evacuate the area on multiple occasions.
They bombed the school, so we fled to Al-Shifa seeking shelter. First time we came to Al-Shifa, they besieged us and left after 15 days. This time, they evacuated the youth in the morning and then us at night, my daughters and myself. When we evacuated at night, they evacuated wounded people with us.
And as reports say, United States and Israel will hold virtual talks to discuss an alternative offensive plan for Rafah after a stalemate in truce talks last week. Negotiations over an Israel-Hamas ceasefire and hostage deal have resumed in Cairo. The two factions have stepped up negotiation talks, which are being mediated by Qatar and Egypt. The current truce talks include a 6-week suspension of Israel's offensive in return for a proposed release of 40 hostages that are in Hamas's captivity. For the very latest on this, our correspondent Jody Cohen sent us this report.
Israel and the US are discussing plans for Rafah, the last remaining stronghold in Gaza of Hamas, which is recognized as a terror organization by several countries. Now, the virtual meeting comes after Prime Minister Netanyahu cancelled a face-to-face meeting last week. That was after the US abstained on a UN Security Council resolution that didn't tie in releasing Israeli hostages with a call for a ceasefire. Now, in Monday's meeting, the Biden administration is presenting their plan for how Israel could defeat Hamas in Rafah without moving civilians. This would reportedly include isolating the city and coordinating targeted operations against Hamas. Now, Israel is said to believe that the most effective way to target Hamas and protect civilians would be to evacuate civilians to central Gaza, provide shelter and aid, and then carry out a ground operation against the last Hamas battalions. And it remains to be seen what's decided in these talks. This is Jody Cohen for WION World is One.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.